Dun, dun, dee, doo, doo. I finally came back from watching The Odyssey this evening, the big Christopher Nolan movie. If you remove Dune and Marvel movies, this was probably the most hyped movie of the year. I'm pretty sure in the US, the ticket booking start like last year. There was clear hype. Like, it's Christopher fucking Nolan. Every time this guy makes a movie, like, the whole world knows it. And yeah, this movie is not a mess. This movie is also good. Like, I feel like Christopher Nolan did deliver. There was a big controversy around the movie. In my opinion, the movie was really good. I really enjoyed it. Especially, like, I sat there for like 3 hours actually interested in the movie, which was big because my attention span is cooked right now. I'm trying to watch Avatar The Last Airbender and I get distracted so easily. My attention span is actually a problem right now. So for me to sit down and watch a 3 hour movie, I mean, it's not like I had a choice. I paid money for the ticket. I had to get my money back. The movie was good. I really liked the movie. I always enjoy watching stuff in IMAX. Like, it's always a good time. But before I start talking about a little bit of stuff I didn't like and the stuff I like, I want to talk about this movie's connection with another mythological story. So in the end of Odyssey, spoiler alert, in the end of Odyssey, Penelope, she says how she will take her husband. If any man can take her husband's bow, Odysseus' bow, and bend it and string it, and no one can do it because only Odysseus is strong enough to do it. And this is very similar to another mythological story. It's called Ramayana. It's an Indian mythological story, if you don't know. I actually suggest watching Ramayana, The Legend of Prince Rama. It's an anime movie which came out in the 90s, and it's one of my favorite anime movies of all time. I actually recommend it. If you like something like Odyssey, a mythological story movie, I actually recommend it. So the bow scene is actually very similar to the Ramayana scene where the princess, the main heroine of the story, she's about to get married and she will only marry the man who can lift a bow and put a string on it. The catch is the bow belongs to a god. No ordinary human can lift it. Everyone tries, all kings, they try, and none of them can even move it even a little bit. Even the main villain of the story, he is there and he can barely lift it. And obviously the main character, the Prince Rama, he lifts it, he strings the bow and he breaks it. Like, that's how strong he is. I just found it funny and interesting that the two countries with completely different cultures, completely different mythology, can have mythological stories made from scratch and have stuff similar between them. Like, I found it really funny. But yeah, let's come back to The Odyssey and let's talk about the movie. First of all, talk about a little bit of stuff I didn't really like. There's more stuff which I like about this movie, so I'm going to talk about it later. But my biggest thing was like music. Like, I always expect masterpiece music with no Christopher Nolan movie. It's not just like Christopher Nolan movie have good music. Like, those things leave cultural impact. You're watching a science-based TikTok or a reel on Instagram, and there's a 90% chance it will have Interstellar or Oppenheimer music playing. That's how good these musics are and the cultural impact they left. I don't think there really was anything in this movie. I don't think the music was bad. It just nothing was on the level of Interstellar. And yeah, the biggest thing which was throwing me all throughout the movie was dialogue. So dialogues of the movie are like in like modern English, and so it just like throws me off. Again, I'm not one of those nerds who want the movies to be historically accurate, because to be honest, I don't really know much about Greek history that much to actually care about historical accuracy in a mythological story, something which never even happened. Like, in my opinion, mythological and fictional stories are the stories where creators should have a good amount of creative freedom. But my thing is, like, still, like, the dialogues are very modern. And it's not just about modern in ancient English. It's like they're very casual. All the characters we see throughout the movie, these are kings, soldiers, like, not like normal people. These are big people, and they're just talking in casual English. Like Tom Holland, he plays the role of Telemachus, and he's saying dad, dad, dad throughout the movie. And he actually addressed it in an interview, Tom Holland, when an interviewer asked him, like, why do you say dad and not father? And his response was like, none of those are really correct answers. Dad, father, they both are equally incorrect, because the real answer to how Telemachus will address his father would be in Greek language, which I agree, but I don't think it's about ancient and modern. I think it's about casual and formal. Like, the dad is a very casual term. You, me, we use it. Tom Holland, he's playing the role of a prince, someone who's to be king, someone whose dad is a king, someone who's part of the royal family. It would make more sense for him to use a formal term like father. It's not just about old and new, like new people use dad and old people use father. It's about formal and informal way of speaking. Like Robert Pattinson in one scene, he's like saying Telemachus, he's like, you're pinning for daddy, you didn't even knew. Like, just the word daddy just threw me so off. Again, it's not a bad experience, like, it just doesn't ruin the movie for me, but it's just something which just throws me off constantly. I regularly notice their very modern way of saying English. Again, like I said, I don't have a problem with the ancient and modern English. I just wish it was more formal. Other than the movie is very good. It's not a masterpiece. It's not no Interstellar, at least for me. For me, that's still probably the best movie Nolan made. made, Interstellar. This one is also very good. Like, this is not a bad movie by any means. Like, the way people were crashing out on the internet, like, oh, this is gonna be a flop, this is so bad. Watch this movie be a huge flop. Like, it's actually overperforming at the box office, by the way. Like, it's earning more than people expected, which again, it's Christopher fucking Nolan. The acting was good. The acting was good. I saw many people on Twitter like criticizing the fact that it has so many big actors. Pretty much everyone did a good job at their role. Like, all of these are good actors. Like, there's a reason they're famous. It's very good to see Tom Holland outside of Spider-Man. I don't think I ever saw any of his movie outside of Spider-Man. Yeah, I never watched Uncharted. So like, this was my first time seeing him outside of like a Marvel project. But everyone else did a very good job, especially like towards the end when Odysseus is like confessing his guilt and all that. Like, the acting are good in that scene. Like, even Robert Pattinson, he does a good job of being an asshole. Like, I was actually angry at his character. Like, damn, this guy's an asshole. What the fuck? Penelope scene. In one scene of Penelope, her acting was so good. It's actually one of my favorite scenes from the movie when Tom Holland comes back. He's telling his mom to remarry because Odysseus said it, and he's telling her, you have to remarry, and she like actually vents out her frustration. Like, that scene was really good, and I actually relate to that scene on a personal level. The scene raises a question which I had since childhood. To go in more detail, in the scene, Penelope says, why is the throne empty for 20 years? She's right here, she's the queen. Why does she have to remarry for a king? Like, why does her only two options are either remarry a new king or her son becomes the king? Like, why can't she take the throne? Why is the throne empty for so many years? Like, she's right here. That was a question I actually had as a kid. Like, every time I would read story of these king, oh, this guy became a king at the age of 16, this guy became a king at the age of 12. I'm like, why doesn't their mother take the throne until the boy is ready to become the king? Like, why the fuck a 16-year-old has to be at throne? Like, that's a question I had since I was a kid. Like, obviously it's because the old society was more misogynistic and stuff, but that one scene with Penelope, it's actually really good. It's not even about Odysseus in that scene, it's about her own honor and stuff. Like, she says one of the best lines in the movie where she says, my education, my experience, all of those mean nothing in front of some patches of beard on your face. She says that to her son, like my abilities doesn't matter, you're a man, so you will take the throne, and that's it, that's the end of story. And it's actually one of my favorite scenes, and the effects were also good, by the way. Like, it's Christopher Nolan, we all know how much he doesn't use CGI, and most of the stuff is practical, which I enjoyed throughout the movie. Like, the movie does look good. Like, it's a good experience to see. Like, again, like I said, I don't really care about historical accuracy. I don't care if the armors and the people who are criticizing on the internet, oh, this armor, it doesn't look accurate. Like, again, you can have those criticisms. I'm not saying you can't have those criticisms. Me personally, I'm not a big history nerd in European history, so I didn't really care about armor and stuff. But except for that, like, pretty much everything was good. Like, the Cyclops scene, which is what everyone was talking about, like this giant monster, like that scene was good. The other scene where they're on an island and they get fucking attacked by a fucking NBA draft army. Everyone is like 8 feet tall. And yeah, speaking of Cyclops and those giant people, all the dangers and like the obstacles, all of them were like really good. That one scene with the witch who turns everyone into like a pig, the scene is like very good. It's a horrifying scene because it's like very body horror kind of scene. Like, she's putting her hand in people's mouth, like fucking twisting their faces in a way, turning them into pig. Like, it's a very raw scene, but I like it very much. When they go to meet the dead people, like, all the scenes were pretty good. Like, all the obstacles, all the dangers, all of them were very good. Like, they did a very good job of adapting all the dangers and obstacles in the movie. Like, another things I liked was the role of gods in this movie. Like, the gods are not really the focus. Like, they're still there because we literally see Cyclops, son of Poseidon, we see Athena, we see Calypso, who in the real Odysseus story, she gets told by Zeus to send Odysseus home. Athena is like very different from the actual Odyssey story. So in the real Odyssey story, Athena is actually helping Odysseus getting back home and everything. I'm pretty sure she's also the one who asked Zeus to tell Calypso that I let Odysseus go. But in the movie, the role of Athena, which Zendaya is playing, is actually very different. The Athena in the movie is actually Odysseus' guilt, his trauma, his PTSD from the war. The face he imagines Athena is actually the face of a normal human, the one who died during the Trojan War, one of the innocent girl who was killed in front of his eyes during the Trojan War. So the Athena, the goddess he sees throughout the movie, is actually just his PTSD. And even in the final scenes where he's venting out and confessing his guilt and crying in front of Penelope and saying how they broke the honor among them men, they gave them gift which they accepted, and then they stabbed them in the back, they killed them brutally, all the innocent people died. Like, that's actually a very big point towards the end where like Odysseus is having a great guilt, he has a great trauma and PTSD from the war. Like, he does not like what he did, and that's why he imagines Athena in the image of a girl, of an innocent girl who he saw getting killed in the war. So like, the role of Athena is very different in the movie. It's supposed to show his guilt, his trauma, his PTSD from the war, unlike the real Odyssey story where Athena is like a real goddess who's helping. I'm sure Athena is real in the Odyssey movie too, but the Athena we see of a symbolism for his guilt and trauma. Even the final scene when we see like even in the ending scene where like he holds hand with Athena and then both of them starts crying, like he starts crying and Athena starts crying. I like the movies where they don't glorify war. I like the scenes they don't glorify war, where they actually show like war is bad. No sides actually win in war. Even the sides which wins, they carry massive trauma, they carry massive guilt on their back. Like, it's not a fun time. War is not a fun time. No sides enjoy it. Even the side who wins, they take massive damage from it too. The only people who enjoy war and get benefit from the war are the people at the top. The people who are actually out in the field, they gain nothing from it. Speaking of war, the war scene was actually pretty good. Like, and we got to see a full-blown war scene at the end. Odysseus is telling Penelope about the war. We get a little bit of it in the mid-movie, but we get the rest of it in like at the end. The scene is very good, but I have to say, like, that scene just made me love Lord of the Rings even more, because Lord of the Rings did stuff just like that 20 years ago. The war scenes we seen Lord of the Rings, like the Gondor or the Rohan stuff, like the Odyssey war scene just made me love Lord of the Rings even more. Now obviously war is not the main focus of this movie. The main focus is obviously Odysseus getting home, back to his families and stuff. But yeah, the war scene we got to see, like all the fighting scenes, like all of them are like the Trojan war scenes or the other scenes where like they're escaping from, like I said, those NBA monster things. The ending was very satisfying. Probably was my favorite scene. Like the whole like last 40-ish minute was probably my favorite part of the whole movie, because that's where Penelope scene comes in. That's where Odysseus strings the bow. That's where he starts killing his people, and he's like solo fighting everyone. Like they even have weapons. They even get weapons with the help of the other guy who Telemachus eventually kills. But like the whole scene where he's like fighting like 100 people all alone, killing Robert Pattinson character. Again, I don't remember Robert Pattinson character's name. Like it's not really mentioned that much throughout the movie. Plus it's a Greek name, so I'm not really good with those. But I'm just gonna say Robert Pattinson character. Like that, like I said, that character actually made me angry. And when he died, like it was really satisfying. It's not just him. All these people, all these fucking assholes dying. It was very satisfying to see. The other guy who almost killed Telemachus at the start of the movie is like, oh, you're Odysseus, and then he instantly gets hit in the neck with arrow. Like this is very satisfying seeing all these clowns dying. The ending was very satisfying, and the ending is also different from the original story of the Odyssey. So in the original story, I'm pretty sure, again, I'm not a huge lore nerd, like I don't know the Odyssey story one-on-one. I literally just watched a YouTube video last year when they announced the movie and there was like insane hype around it. Last year I watched a YouTube video. It explained the whole story of Odyssey, so I know from there. In the original story, I'm pretty sure Odysseus just takes the throne and he starts ruling over his people again with his wife and son by his side. But in this one, again, like I said, this movie actually shows like how much Odysseus was affected from the war, and like he just cannot go back to his original life, so he just decided to sail west with his wife. Like the trauma from the Trojan War and the trauma he gets when he sees his people, when he goes to the island where you see the dead people and he like sees what happened to his comrades, the one who didn't got a burial, like how they're just like vengeful souls now. Like that just all left a deep mark with him. Like he can't just go back to ruling people, especially after he has lost so many men. Like it just shows like how he was just never the same person after the war. The war changed him forever, and he will carry that burden with him for the rest of his life. And I think I like this one more than the original story. Like in the original story, he's just like, yeah, they lived happily ever after. He became the king with his wife and his son. But this one, like, it actually shows like, the war is fucked up. Seeing the fate of his soldiers in the afterlife and everything, it broke him. He just can't go back to ruling over people like nothing happened. Again, I'm not saying either of them is better than the other, but in my preference, I just like the movie ending more. But yeah, overall, the movie was pretty good. I actually really liked it. The Odyssey was actually one of the 4 movies which was hype for this year. First was Dune, which I'm like really high for. Second was Spider-Man. Third was Supergirl, which we know what happened with that. And fourth was the Odyssey. So I'm really happy. Like after like the Supergirl disappointment, I am happy that the Odyssey actually didn't disappoint me and actually was better than what I expected. Let's hope Clayface is the same too, because that's also one more movie I'm hyped for this year. Let's hope that is a disappointment, because I know Spider-Man and Dune not gonna disappoint. Like it's Spider-Man and Dune. And yeah, like I said, the Avatar, the Last Airbender, there's something I'm watching. So probably the next video is gonna be on the Avatar, the Last Airbender, since a movie is coming off the Avatar. But yeah, that's about it. Till then, see ya.